Heed the sound. Ringo TV. Ringo TV. Ringo TV.
Welcome to another edition of Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo. Make sure you click the like button, subscribe, and support the content. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video disc under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Welcome everybody to Black Male Advice TV. I'm your host, Ringo, and we have a very, very powerful show for you today. We're going to be dealing with a topic that needs to be addressed. It needs to be broadcast to the majority of our women primarily, as well as our brothers, so that they can understand exactly what's going on, to understand the magnitude of the problem that we face. As you know, I teach on the topic of polygyny. It is my goal and mission to set a standard to make both men and women understand the dynamic of polygyny, to understand that we are in trouble as a nation of people because we were stripped of our morals, we were stripped of our culture, and because we came to this land, we have been indoctrinated into a lifestyle and culture that is not really ours. And because of the destruction of the black family, we as men and women are suffering to understand what is our role, our purpose, and why we are here. So when it comes to family dynamics, we really don't got it together. And because of this, we have a very dysfunctional lifestyle. My goal is to somehow bring understanding, to use various methods to illustrate exactly how the black family should be, to give men a positive outlook on life, to give them hope, to give them encouragement that things will get better, they will progress, to give women the understanding of where they may be falling short, to hopefully give them the tools necessary to move forward. Because the way things are going, it's not going to get better until we come to the reality of where we are. Monogamy is not our culture. When we get into relationships, we get into them with the mindset and idea and ideology of what society has given us. But it don't work. This is why we see nothing but failure in relationships wherever we go. Monogamy just don't work. The divorce rate is at an all-time high. When men get involved in these relationships, they're trapped in what is known as monogamy. What most of us may think is that these men get into these relationships because they just want one woman. The truth is they love the woman that they get with, and they want to have a happy home. Unfortunately, for most women, they're under this misconception that when a man wifed them up, that he took an oath of monogamy and therefore she expect him to only be with her. but that's not the reality. The fantasy that women are involved in is finding a man that will only be with her and have no desire for no other woman. My hope is to make you sisters understand the harsh reality that any man you get with is going to desire another woman. And if you continue down this road, this fantasy, you're never going to be happy. A lot of times women believe, and they so believe, and it's just like having faith in something and you expecting a result and it just never comes because it's not real. It's a fantasy. Monogamy is causing so much problems in relationships that men are lying, men are being manipulative, not because they want to, but because they have to. If I may share a lot of details with you, it's designed to edify you to understand how real this is. Because a lot of times when I teach, things get misconstrued, people misunderstand me. I have to go back and remake a video because people just don't get it. And it seemed like nobody wants to come to the grips of reality. We're not living in a fantasy. We have to understand what's going on in this world so that we can be a better people. And see, although these videos are pre-recorded, it's being done live. I am not editing anything. Everything is done live. Just as if though I'm doing a live show, I record my videos live and do all my movements live. Nothing is pre-written, organized. I speak from the heart. And my goal is that you will hear my heart and understand how serious this is. I don't teach men to lie to women. I believe that honesty is the best policy. I believe that as men, we need to be upfront and honest with women. At the same time, a lot of men are not being honest because, simply put, they have to lie. Because you don't want to hear the truth. You say you want to hear the truth, but you really don't want to hear the truth. And when a man tell you the truth, you don't want to hear the truth, and he really don't get what exactly he's looking for. So to combat that issue, men are literally lying to women. And women will fault these men and say, well, why are you lying? Just be honest. And then when they're honest, the men still don't get exactly what they're looking for because the women end up getting into their feelings, and now we have more problems in the relationship. So the truth is, women really don't want to hear the truth. Because if a man was truly brutally honest with you on what he wants and his feelings and all his desires, you would literally be in your feelings, cry, and kick, moan, and just have a problem with everything he's doing because you don't understand the nature of a man. I titled this particular video, Men Are Not Monogamous. Women are ignoring reality for fantasy, the raw truth. Throughout this video, I'm going to be sharing some video footage. Video footage from what I believe is a woman who understands reality. A woman who exhibit the understanding and the wherewithal to understand the nature of a man. Not wanting to combat a man's nature, but she understands and accepts the fact that this is reality. And if she don't get on board with that reality, she's going to be living a miserable existence. Now, ladies, throughout this video, I need for you to understand and listen very carefully. Because a lot of times when sisters listen, they don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with their feelings, and they're just waiting for a moment to disagree. I need for you to understand the reality of this world, where men are, and what's really going on. Men are in a position now where they're trying to build families. We have all sorts of types of men. We have the good, we have the bad, we have the ugly. Throughout this show, the type of men that I am talking about, that I want you sisters to really consider, are men that actually want to build family. We're talking about respectable men that are working class brothers, that are decent, men that are assured of what they want, men that truly have a desire to build with you, men that have true deep inner feelings for you, to love you, men that actually want to be happy with you. We're not talking about men that want to pump and dump. We're not talking about men that want a one-night stand and then they want to leave you because they don't want to deal with any responsibility. We're talking about men that actually have the motivation, the experience of wanting to grow with women in a setting that is beneficial for both her and him. Polygyny is the solution for the black family. Women of today don't understand that because they have been indoctrinated by monogamy, feminism, and so forth. Because of this ideology that has been given to them, they have totally rejected the idea of a man having more than one wife, simultaneously causing the black family's destruction. Because of this, we have a lifestyle of single mothers, where women get involved with a man, things don't turn out right, and then the family is destroyed. A woman is separated, the children are left alone, there's no father around, and it just creates a whirl of dysfunction. Then we have women that are single, who believe they're independent, they don't need a man. They get involved into relationships with men. Nothing is really going about in terms of being successful, starting a long-term relationship, having children. Instead, these women engage in sexual activity with these men, and it never come to fruition of a successful marriage, happy home, and so forth. And because of this, she's experiencing different men. Body count is rising. She's not being productive. And by the time she hit 30 and 40, she had so many experiences that by the time she get with a brother that really want to build with her, she don't know how to bond because the pair bonding effect has been totally destroyed. And because of all her experiences and the hurts and the pains and everything else that comes with it, she begins to take it out on that man and blames him for everything. The hurts and the pains that women go through amplifies and destroys her ability to submit to a man, to even follow her own heart. A woman can have the desire to be with a man, but because of hurts and pains and bitterness and issues that's going on within her, she's unable to make these decisions to better her life. Most women don't realize that there's a time clock. They don't realize that in this day and time is running out. And their opportunity to get with a successful man who is perfect for them is literally growing low because they're searching for a fantasy. They're searching for a fantasy that they believe is real, or they believe that it could be true, but it never really happened. I'm here to tell all sisters that are listening to me, regardless how you may feel, regardless how your feelings may be, you will never find a man that will be monogamous. Never. And I mean that with all due respect. I know you have these hopes and these dreams of having a man that is going to only want you. The truth of and the reality of this is that men are not monogamous. And again, I'm not dealing with the whoremonger male. I'm not dealing with the man who just want to pump and dump, the man that just want to use women for sex. I'm talking about a man that want to love you, a man that want to appreciate you, a man that desires you. He desired to hold you. He desired to caress you. He desired to have you around him. A man that want to build a family. A man that want to be there, that want to have experiences with you. A man that want to go out with you, play with you, cuddle with you. A man that truly in his heart want to be with you. That's hard to find. And a lot of times you sisters, you getting involved with men that really don't want that. They just want to use you for sex and leave. And what happens is, because of the way your mind is set, you have totally rejected men of quality for men that are no good. Not only do sisters do that, but a lot of you sisters that are actually in relationships with brothers in terms of marriages, long-term relationships, even you have rejected the idea of a man having more than one wife, which put men in a position where they have to go underground, which is a problem. because we don't want brothers going underground. We don't want brothers being involved with women secretly. We don't want brothers to be creeping and moving this way and moving that way. We want brothers to be honest and upfront. But when brothers are honest and upfront, you just can't seem to handle the truth. So what is a brother to do? What is a brother to say? Where do he go? How do he deal with his desires? If he desires more than one woman and his woman is not accepting of that reality, how did he go about that? What do he say? Where do he turn? This is why men lie. This is why men creep. This is why men go underground. Because society has caused men to go underground. Because women are unwilling to understand the reality that a man is not monogamous, never been monogamous, he have no desire to be monogamous. This is the reality. And sisters need to understand that. When you get involved with a man, I don't care how good it looks, he don't only want to be with you. He might have feelings for you. He might try to get to know you, but eventually down that road, he's going to run into another woman. It always happens. When will you come to the reality and stop living in a fantasy? Because it's never going to stop. You cannot change the nature of a man. A man was never designed to be with one woman. A man have the ability to love multiple women, just like a man have the ability to love all his children. Every child is being able to experience the love of their father differently, because a man loves his women differently, just like he's loved his children differently. Everybody requires something different. A lot of times I hear, well, how can a man take care of more than one woman? That's a lot of work. Well, how do a man take care of multiple kids that he have? If a man have 5 children, he still got to take care of his children. He don't stop and say, well, it's difficult. Actually, raising and taking care of children is more of work than it is dealing with women. The problem in this culture is that women are not understanding the sisterhood involved in polygyny. They're not understanding the benefits of polygyny. And a lot of times it is due to insecurities, jealousy, and so forth. And because of this, a lot of you sisters are missing the opportunity of a beautiful life that is designed to solve all your problems. You're working so hard to fulfill something that could have been established under polygyny. You're literally fighting against that which the Most High pre-subscribed for men to build his nation. And because of that, we are suffering. And it's not going to get any better because you are sitting there in your feelings and you're preventing progress. You're preventing growth. You are literally causing men that are righteous, good quality men that want to do the right thing, that want to build his family. You are causing these brothers to now go underground to fulfill their desires. That's wrong. And it's bad because what it's doing is causing men to creep, to be under the radar, because he can't be honest no more. And I teach men to be honest. Honesty is the best policy. I don't teach men to lie to women, not at all. But what else is he to do? What else is he to do? Imagine a situation. You're a brother, you're in the truth. You're just a man, even if you're not in the truth. It doesn't matter. If you're just a man and you desire to have more than one wife, and your woman, she's totally against the idea of you having more than one wife. Okay, what do you do now? Do you submit to your woman and be emasculated and sit there and be unhappy and unfulfilled because you can't build your nation? Because you're trying to please her? So she's okay and she's happy, but you're not happy as a man because you're unable to fulfill your purpose. Now think about that situation. Now what is that man to do? Okay, that man is going to creep on the low. And not only is he going to creep on the low, but he's going to begin to lie. Not that he want to lie, but he have to lie in order to fulfill his purpose. This video here, in my humble opinion, is going to be the blueprint to not only make women understand the reality, that men are not monogamous, but it's going to also give you the guidance and hopefully the encouragement to recognize all of your faults on why the black family is being destroyed. You see, as a sister, you need a husband. You need a man that's going to guide you, protect you, and be your head. You can no longer go through this life feeling as if though you're going to somehow meet this special guy who's going to be a monogamous special unicorn. It's not going to happen. I challenge any lady at the sound of my voice to provide me the data of a man that is totally committed to you and you only. And I will show you data that the man that you claim that is so faithful to you and you only actually have another woman on the side. And if not another woman on the side, he's actually thinking about it, doing that, or he's just messing with women, which is a whole nother dynamic that men get involved with when they're unable to practice polygyny fruitfully and openly. You see, when a man is unable to do something openly, he do it in an ungodly fashion. And that is what we don't want. We don't want our brothers creeping around with women to have sex with, and it's not meaningful love. We want our brothers to procreate with women that they actually love and desire to build with. We don't want men on the job just trying to hit it with a sister, and then after that he bounce. We don't want our brothers doing that. We don't want our brothers living in sin. We want our brothers being productive so that they can have wives and a home that they can literally build, and their wives are together and literally growing in a sisterhood where we can now flourish as a family and be prosperous and successful, so that when we're gone, our children now have the land, they have the houses, they have the prosperity, they have the financial benefits of everything we establish as a unit. This cannot be established under monogamy. Monogamy limits us from being successful families. Monogamy limits us from being prosperous. Monogamy limits men from literally being happy, powerful people. It's a problem in today's culture. And my hope is that somehow, some way, we will come to the reality of what's going on and realize that as men and women, we must come to the understanding of polygyny and move forward in that dynamic and stop allowing Satan to keep us apart. Because in doing so, the men are going to be underground, they will continually lie, and you sisters will never be happy because no man will ever be monogamous. Never. So, with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some footage. And again, this video is all under fair use. So, with that being said, let's get into this particular video. This particular woman, I believe, is very knowledgeable when it comes to these issues. And I want you sisters to listen to her, because sometimes when you listen to a woman, you tend to understand things a little better. So without further ado, we're going to play some footage. And I want you all to pay very close attention. And again, this video is all under fair use. This is a teaching lesson. This is not a copyright sort of infringement. This is fair use. So with that being said, let's pay attention. This is class, and you're about to be edified. I will pause the video at certain times so that I can begin to speak and share my thoughts about different things. So let's get into this thing with Miss Shabazz. Let's go. Wait a minute, something went wrong. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me see. Okay, here we go. Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, I got the volume off. Okay, hold on a second. Let me get this thing tuned up. Oh, I got the volume down right here. All right.
We know that.
Let's go.
Do you fault the black man for anything?
Yes, absolutely.
Briefly,
I fought
what?
him for lying.
For lying?
Yes.
About?
All kinds of things. He won't tell us the truth about his life because he knows that we can't handle the truth. And so he will lie to us about his activities and his life because it preserves the peace for him, he thinks. But we know that lies don't build a relationship. They create doubt, suspicion, and fear. And then we exhibit those behavior traits. And fear in the female is always translated as hostility.
Now, you see, we start off that a lot of men, because of the lifestyle in which they're in, they have to resort to lying, which is something we're not supposed to do as men. We're supposed to be honest and upfront. But the truth is, women don't have the ability to take the truth because they really don't want the truth. They can't handle it. So it's not that men are lying. They're really trying to protect the peace that they want so badly. A lot of men yearn for a life of just peace and harmony. And to protect that, they're forced to lie, forced to go underground. And again, I am not talking about the whoremonger male. I am not talking about the brother who is just sleeping around with women just to use them. We're talking about quality men that want to build with his women, men that want to establish families, that want to grow. These brothers are now forced to go underground. So it's not necessarily that they're lying. They're just not being honest and upfront about everything that they're doing. And to be quite honest, even when a man is honest and truthful with you, there's a lot of things he's just not telling you because he just can't tell you because you can't handle the truth. And to protect his peace and to protect the possibility of him being successful, he have to not open up as much as you think he should, because he know the more he opens up to you, you're not going to listen to him anyway. And now because of that, it creates more hostility. Women begin to question him, look at him suspiciously, and think he's doing all sorts of things. And this is because men are not literally at liberty to be open and upfront with his women, because his women are very hostile towards him when he tries to express his true desires from his heart. We have literally been emasculated so much, and we're under this radar of, you can't be a man and you can't express yourself as a man, because if you do that, you're going to lose everything you've built. So because of all the things men built, they go underground, and this creates more hostility with our women. So as she explains this, I want people to pay attention and listen very carefully, because she's about to go into a lot of details that sisters primarily needs to listen to. So with that said, let's get back into this video.
And so, see, it's a locked-in circle that I'm trying to get us to look at, how these things are connected and what they produce. A lot of the anger and frustration we have at each other is really not even at each other. It's about our conditions. It's about something that's almost been genetically sent down through our womb, because our men were not able to protect us. They were not able to keep the slave master from snatching our babies out of our womb, to allow us to have food or clothing. A lot of different kinds of things that happen to us that just make us tremble. They make us frightened. And so now it's to a point where everything that the man does, we have our total emotional balance, our self-esteem, our self-respect, everything that we stand for as a female, we have it tied right now to our men's genitals.
Tied right now to their man's genitals, which is another issue. Now, if you notice what she said regarding slavery, black men primarily was not able to protect his women. He was not able to provide her that safety and everything, because we were literally destroyed as a people. This is why when we look at today, we see a lot of problems within the black community where our women are being attacked on the street and so forth. And I made recent videos regarding these issues, and a lot of times sisters, they misconstrue my words, they misunderstand my point, and they don't realize the bigger picture of what's going on here. Men are supposed to protect their wives, and when our women are walking around single and have no protection, women don't realize that they're putting themselves at risk. Now, there is a spiritual connection when you have a husband that will allow you to walk through the streets and men would not even look your way, because you have a godly man that's on your side. And when you have that headship, you can walk through these streets. These streets could be full of evil, all sorts of problems. Men will not harass you. Men will not disrespect you, because you're tied to a man. And when you are tied to a man, that allows the protection from the Most High to govern over you. It allows the angels of the Most High to encamp around you. Why? Because you have a godly man around you. I have so many more videos to talk about regarding the protection of the black woman, and how when you have a husband, it gives you a spiritual covering, so that when you're in the streets, you don't have to worry about thugs harassing you. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to live in fear. Even when your man is not around you, you will be protected by his spirit. Why? Because of your connection with him, that divine connection allows the Heavenly Father to cover you. And with that protection now, you don't have to worry about the dangers of this world. And because our women are walking around single, have no husband whatsoever, they are literally open and susceptible to all the wiles of the devil. All of these things we will talk about in other videos. But just that little bit of nuggets that I just shared right there is enough to enlighten you to wake up to realize what exactly women are missing. So it's not about men bashing women. It's not about us making fun of the fact that a woman was attacked in Harlem or, well, we just don't need to protect none of our sisters. I would love to have all of our sisters being protected. I would love for all of our sisters to have the peace of mind of walking the streets. But one thing our sisters lack, and that's the understanding of the reality that they need a husband. And without a husband, you are not covered. And if you are not covered, you are not protected. So as you walk through these streets, you are literally open to all of the wiles of the devil. This is not the type of stuff you play with. This is a spiritual life in a physical world. And if we don't have this knowledge of what's going on, we're at risk for a lot of issues. So it's not my purpose to somehow offend women or discourage women or make women feel that they're in doubt or as if though they have no one to protect them. I am trying to get us to the reality of the fact that you need a husband. Not only a husband, but understanding the nature of a man. And if you don't understand the nature of a man and your role as a woman on how to move with this man, you're only going to have problems. Let's move on to more of this particular video. Let's go.
And it depends on what he does with those about whether or not
let's talk about that for just a moment.
See, this is an intense topic.
Yes,
I just never get a chance to explain
One thing that I read over and over again in your book was regarding infidelity. And let me just make this here. You say in your book, there is no history of the black man settling down with one woman and never desiring to have another. Before slavery, during slavery, or after slavery, the black man has never been recorded to have just one woman.
Right. Well, I think there's some actual facts we can look at on that. Monogamy has failed for the white man in America.
But this is like saying it's okay.
It's not me saying it's okay. This is how they're living. I'm giving you the history of what their life is. Black men haven't been waiting on me to tell them it's all right to have more than one woman. Neither have white men. This is just what they do. I'm not talking about fornication and adultery. I'm not talking about one-night stands and running around rampant with other women.
Notice she's not talking about men that are sexually promiscuous with women, using women, abusing women, the pump and dumpers, the smash and dashers. We're not talking about those brothers. We're talking about actual men that want to build relationships, that want to build families, have children, have that love, that companionship. We're talking about quality men that want to have the life of having his women by his side and building a successful relationship. So make sure you're paying attention, and make sure you pay attention to the points that she's making on in the history of life. Men have not been monogamous, especially black men. We have not been in a situation where we are literally with one woman or just desire to be with one woman. That makes no sense. And it's the reality that we're in. My hope is that sisters will begin to wake up, because you're setting yourself up for failure when you're thinking, well, I'm going to find this special guy and, he's going to just be for me. Sister, you are not going to find that guy. He will play like he's that guy only to get you in bed, use you, abuse you, and then he's going to wake you up and say, hey, I got another woman. And you're going to be so hurt. You're going to be so hurt because the reality is there, but you just don't want to listen to it. Why put yourself through that? And because of the reality of the fact that most or the majority of men are not monogamous, a lot of times sisters get so frustrated, they say, well, I'm just going to be single forever. I'm just going to stay by myself. And this is actually happening. Women are literally alone, and they're going to die alone. And it's unfortunate. Let's listen to some more of this. This gets deep.
That's not the kinds of when I say more than one woman relationship. I mean that before we came to America, our men had more than one wife and family. And we were satisfied with it, because we had not met the monogamy idea. We had not met the American white woman who, insists on certain kinds of values in her man. We had not learned envy and jealousy. All right, after coming here, those kinds of ideas were bred into us because of society and the mores that the Americans made up here. And so then we started to have problems with that. But I think that since it is apparent that most of them, not all of them, it's certainly up to the man, do love more than one woman. I got tons of mail. A lot of black men write and tell me that they have had 2 women for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and they can't even get the women to speak to each other. Sometimes they have 2 families,
would I want
2 sets of children.
Would I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life with who I would deem as my man?
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that that robs you of something.
Now notice that a lot of women, they tend to feel as if though if they're with a man and they're pretty much sharing him with another woman, they believe that somehow they're being robbed of something, and they become insecure. And what Ms. Shabazz is pretty much trying to get sisters to understand is the reality of womanhood, of understanding the nature of a man. You're never going to be successful in relationships until you get this part right. And it's very important that sisters pay very close attention to this. She's not just trying to brainwash you or anything like that. She's not trying to manipulate you. She is literally focused on the reality. And that's what I like about this lady here. She is focused on the reality. She's not holding back. She's no holds barred, and she's letting women know exactly what's going on and what they need to hear. Because a lot of times women are laughing and they're saying, well, I don't know. And, listen, wake up to the reality of what's going on. Because you're never going to be happy in this culture or in this life until you come to the grips of the reality of what and how men move. And again, we're talking about quality men that want to build, not the whoremonger, not the pump and dumpers. We're talking about quality men. Let's listen to some more.
You would want to know them. If he loves her, you certainly should want to know her. Woman, what is to become of those children? A man ought to just have.
Let me talk a little bit about that. When you understand that a man have another woman, as a woman, your job is literally to find out about that woman. Because if he loves her, if a man loves another woman from the heart, right, you as his first woman should be willing and desiring to know who that woman is. Because he's not just in a one-night stand. He's not just fooling around. This man has a committed mindset and wanting to build. So it would be in your best interest to be like, you know what? I would like to meet this woman. I would like to get to know her. Perhaps, sooner or whenever. Why? Because you want to know who your man actually is in love with or desire. Because not only is it going to benefit you, it's going to benefit the other woman. Because sometimes the other woman would want to get to know you, but because you may not be interested in polygyny, she don't want to hurt your feelings. Because women literally understand this type of mindset. Women can feel each other's vibes. Women can recognize that there's another woman around and she don't want to hurt the other woman, even though she want that man. But if all women recognize the dynamic of polygyny and say, you know what? I want to get to know who this woman is. I want to meet her. I want to see what she's about. I want to know what's going on. Sometimes when you make that move, you will find out that you will become even more happy of knowing that this is the man, this is the woman that your man actually love or like or is trying to get to know. And now that you know that, it will give you a peace of mind to realize that this woman is not even all that bad that you thought. Because a lot of times as women, you think that your man is creeping with a thought. You think he's creeping with some hoe. You think he's creeping around with some woman that's no good. And a lot of times he's not creeping. He's literally trying to build with a woman that's good. And when you learn who that woman is and you realize she's not even bad at all, she's actually a good woman, you will begin to have a sisterhood with a woman. A lot of you sisters don't even have friends. A lot of you ladies don't even have female friends to literally talk about your female issues with. And you're literally growing old and frustrated because you don't even have another feminine energy to talk to about your basic needs and issues. And you're literally not living life in abundance. This is a problem. So pay attention because she got a lot to teach you.
One woman, but that is not the reality. I'm trying to get us to deal with some reality for a change.
Let me rewind it back. Let me rewind it back.
That would never hold water.
Wait a minute, that's not easy. And that's a frightening thought to most of it. had 2 women for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years, and they can't even get the women to speak to each other. Sometimes they have 2 families,
would I
2
want
sets of
to, but
children.
would I want to talk to a woman who's sharing perhaps the bed and the money and the social life
You
with
should.
who I would deem as my man?
If you want to deal in reality, and if you are not insecure, and if you don't think that that robs you of something.
First of all, he's not your man. We have to understand this, ladies. Your husband is not your man. You don't own him. You don't own him. You have to get that out of your mind. You don't own that man. He's your head. See, if you don't see that man as your head, then guess what? You see yourself as the head, and you see him as your subject in terms of you owning him. You don't own him. When a man makes you his wife, he's making you his wife, and you are becoming one with him. And I don't think a lot of ladies understand that. It's very important. You should want to get to know the woman that your man is interested in. It's very important.
You would want to know them. If he loves her, you certainly should want to know her.
Facts.
There are a lot of black women out there who say,
oh, I know
sister,
they're mad about that idea. I understand.
See, all the black women out there that's like sister this and all this other stuff, those are the women that's going to be single forever. Those are the women that's going to be literally insecure, alone, forever. Listen, people, at the sound of my voice, you got women that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that are literally single and alone and been that way for many years because they refuse to come to the grips of reality that men are not monogamous. They get into relationships with men, they try to settle down, and it seems like every man they get with always end up with some other woman. And then they get mad. They say, I'm breaking up. I'm just going to be alone. They go out with their friends. They're drinking. They're having fun. They're like, look, I'm looking for Mr. Right. Listen, the Mr. Right you're looking for don't exist because men are not monogamous. They're not. And them desiring another woman is not the problem. The problem is you've been indoctrinated in a culture of monogamy that is robbing you from the happiness you seek. You're never going to have that happiness by trying to lock a man down in monogamy because he's not going to be locked down. He's a man. You must understand that, ladies. Let's go.
You know,
that would never hold water.
Wait a minute, that's not easy. And that's a frightening thought to most of us. And I don't like that. I'm not for that. I'm in agreement with everybody else. Our men ought to just have one woman. But that is not the reality.
Notice she said she's in agreement with all the other women in terms of she would like for the man to just be with one woman. But that's not the reality. She understand that. She would love for the man to just only be with her, but she know he's not going to only be with her. That is a truth that sisters today don't understand. And because they have been locked in this monogamy mindset, they really believe that there is hope of finding a guy that's going to be monogamous. And it's never going to happen. Absolutely never.
I'm trying to get us to deal with some reality for a change. Stop dealing with fantasy. Stop dealing with television. Stop dealing with imagination of how we wish things were. Let's deal with them how they are, what it is, present tense.
Facts.
And
but
if we
because
deal with
that's
that,
happening doesn't mean I have to like that or want to accept that.
No, that means that you can live in hell. That means you can live in doubt. That means that you can always be checking on your man. That means that you can be insecure and be, tearful. And that means you can be disappointed when you find out the real truth.
Wow. Do you see that, people? Notice what the woman said that's given the interview. Like, I don't have to accept that. I don't have to like exactly what he's doing or want a guy that wants other women. I don't have to do that. And notice what Ms. Shabazz said. She said, well, all right, you want to feel like that? Okay, then you could basically just live in hell, right? Be insecure, always checking around your man, always looking through his phone, always being suspicious, always wandering around living in total misery because you refuse to come to grips with the reality that he's a man. He's not a woman. He's a man. As a man, he's going to desire other women. And again, we're dealing with the quality man who wants to build family and love the women he's with. We're not talking about a man that's taking advantage of a woman. We're not talking about a man that just want to use a woman for sex and bounce. And to all you ladies, listen, it's not even about sex. Even though sex is involved, you should know when a man really want to be with you. Because if it was just about sex, a man would just hit it, bounce, have nothing to do with you. But when he still want to be with you, when he still want to come around, when he still want to be in your company, it's not even about sex at this point. This man actually like who you are and want to be around you. And a lot of times sisters refuse to have that, and they're living a miserable existence because they're not allowing themselves to really be happy. They think being happy is having a man locked to them only. You're living in a fantasy. And the worst possible thing you can do as a sister is to believe that the man you're with is only with you. And then it finally comes out that he had another woman. Now you're hurt. Now you're broken because you've given him your body, you've given him your time, you've given him your love, and he's out there with other women. You thought that by you giving him all of this, that somehow it's going to tame the lion. You thought by you being sexually wild with him and fulfilling all these different sexual desires, that somehow he's not going to want no other woman. That's not the case. That's not the case. Men are men, and you must understand that. Let's go.
And you don't want to have that in your life. None of us do. But in order not to have that, then we have to deal with some reality and recognize that men are not limited in the way that women are. Men are able to love more than one woman. I'm not talking about, as I said, just a random sexual relationship of fornication and adultery and all of that. I mean that there are many black men who have children by more than one woman. What is to become of those children? They need their father.
Yep.
Now, you say that once these relationships don't work, and they start breaking up or things start going bad at home, you say, she will cry and seek sympathy. During this period, the black woman will remind the black man of everything she has ever done for him.
Yeah, we do that.
She will try to make him feel guilty and ashamed of his decidedly outrageous behavior.
Yep. Absolutely.
She'll let the house go, and I quote you, to hell.
That's right.
She may stop cleaning, ironing, washing, and cooking.
And we withhold sex.
Notice what she said. Once these women that don't pretty much accept the reality, right, they would want to break up. They will begin to blame the man for why things are the way they are. But in the process, before it leads to the breakup and the destruction of the black family, what said woman would do is she would stop her wifely duties. She will stop cleaning the house. She will stop taking care of her man. She will stop cooking for him. She will stop cleaning. And she will withhold sex, which is one of the most dangerous things you can do as a woman. Now, think about exactly what you're doing. Your man loves another woman or desires to be with other women. Rather than you coming to the grips of reality of what's going on, you begin to withhold everything that you should be giving him to sustain him as a man, making matters actually worse than better. How can you as a woman withhold sex from your man while in the process of trying to make things better when he desires another woman? Do you really think withholding sex is going to solve your problems? It's actually making matters worse, because now he's going to go to the other woman or go to whatever woman he's with for the fulfillment of sex. Not only that, he's going to go to the other women for the fulfillment of food, or he'll just buy whatever food he needs from the streets. He won't have no need of going to you because you're withholding everything. That's a major problem in relationships. And we see it all the time, where once a woman finds out that it's possible that their man have another woman or is seeing some other woman, she begin to stop her wifely duties. She's not cleaning the house. She's letting the house go. She's not paying the bills. She's not being responsible. She just don't care. She's not taking care of her own body. She lets herself go. She's sleeping early. She's not being sexual. She's not talkative. She literally becomes this man's living hell. And all that does, it pushes the man further away. It pushes him into the other woman's arms, which is giving her the negative result of what she wants. And this is bad. Let's listen to some more.
It's a real tool we use. We do that.
But if you would cheat on me or walk out on me...
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. We have to get into definition. Who told us that was cheating?
Wow.
Where did that idea come from that that's cheating?
Facts.
And I'm not saying that a lot of men are not just running around. I'm not talking about that. But if a woman finds out that her man has been with a woman while she's been with him for 3 or 4 or 5 years, that's a serious commitment and relationship.
Right. He's not cheating. He's not out there creeping around. This man is in a committed relationship. He is not out there looking for no one-night stand. 4 or 5 years he's talking to this sister and he's still with her and you just now finding out. You got to really come to the grips of reality that this man is serious.
And if it hasn't taken anything from me, if I'm not going short of anything, and if this is what he thinks his responsibility is, then what kind of hell are you going to go through to prevent that? Since we cannot stop him, we have not been successful. The white woman has not been successful in stopping the white man from having another woman. They call them a mistress. We pick up a lot of that terminology. But a man who has 2 women, that's not necessarily a mistress. That's just his other woman. Now we got 2 choices.
Facts.
We can be the woman or the other woman. We don't have but those 2. Now I know we don't like that. I don't like that. But that's the reality of our life at some point. Now it's up to the man. But every man doesn't want 2 women, but those that do, they're going to do it.
What about our morals and our religion?
Whose religion? Whose morals?
Wow. Whose religion? Whose morals? Whose religion? Whose morals? Sisters, whose religion? Whose morals? You're worried about your religion and your morals, but you're not worried about the reality. The culture that we live in trained you into monogamy. It have your mind thinking that this man is supposed to only be with you because you're a woman. Men are designed to be fruitful and multiply with women. Men are designed to love more than one woman. When you are literally anti-polygyny, you are stopping progress, which is going to essentially make these men go underground dealing with women in an ungodly manner, which we don't want men to do. So now when men are creeping, pumping and dumping, smashing and dashing, now we want to criticize them and say they're using and abusing women. They're not using and abusing women. These are most likely brothers that tried to do things the right way. And when they tried to do it the right way, they were judged, they were shamed, they were told that they're no good, that they're cheating, that they're disloyal. And because of that, these brothers said, you know what? I'm tired of being good. I'm tired of trying to do things the nice way. I'm just going to go out there and just do whatever. And now that they're doing that, they're being demonized as men that are no good, when really these men tried to be honest. And I am not suggesting that men go out there and pump and dump. I keep speaking this over and over. I am not endorsing men pumping and dumping and using women, but you sisters have to take responsibility for what you are causing. You got so many brothers that want to be committed to the women they deal with. They want to be faithful. They don't want to pump and dump. They don't want to smash and dash. They don't want to use women and let them go. But because you sisters literally are so anti-polygyny and not being of the understanding of the reality that this man love these women, these men are forced to literally just go underground and do whatever. And once they get to that point, it's of no return. To the point where you'll have good brothers now. They'll be at work, messing around with this sister, messing around with that sister. And it's not nothing meaningful. They'll go to one sister to get head, and once they do that, they bounce. They'll get with another sister, have sex with her, and then they bounce. No real commitment, no real love and tranquility. It's just playthings. That's not what we want in our culture. That's not what we want as men. We want peace and harmony. We want to know that we have wives that we love and are committed to, and children that we are raising. That's what we want. But because of the dysfunctions of the black family, because of the destruction of the black family, because women don't understand the reality of what men are and who they are and how they move, men are forced to go underground. And there are so many good men that have turned bad. There are so many good men that have good hearts, but on the low key, they're creeping with women. And because of that, we have nothing but dysfunction. This is not the way it's supposed to be, people. We need to have understanding of polygyny, but our women must be educated to understand that the culture they live in, the religion that was given to them, the morals that were given to you by so-called America, it's not who we are as a people. Let's go.
Not our religion, because we're not practicing the religion of black people anymore. That was taken from us. We don't have our morals anymore. That was taken from us. So whose idea are you representing when you stand up for those values?
Facts.
Not ours. Somebody else's.
Yep.
Some other nationality. And it may work for them. But it doesn't work for us. It hasn't worked for anybody, really, but nobody wants to deal with the truth. Monogamy was only created because of the economics of it.
Yep.
The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman has been out for, what, over a year now?
That's pretty much it on that particular section. So what I will do is I will switch gears and pretty much just talk to the people about this particular topic. Again, that's Miss Shabazz. You can pretty much find her throughout YouTube, talking about different topics regarding her book, about the Black Man's Guide. I forgot the name of it. I'll put it probably in the description area. But credit to her for speaking on those particular issues. She actually understands the reality. And there's multiple women that are of that understanding, but the majority of our women are not. And because of this, they're going to literally be single for the rest of their lives and just get used by men. And it's a sad situation because a lot of times our women, they want to get into relationships with brothers and be in this monogamous world, but it's never going to happen. And I try to make sisters understand that you need to be with the man that actually got love for you. That is the man for you. Why can't you see that? Why would you turn down actual love because you don't have monogamy? And you're going to continually search for a man that's monogamous? It's never going to happen. I guarantee you, I place bets on this. I challenge any woman. Show me that man that's just with you and have no other woman. I guarantee you, later down the road, you're going to find out the truth, that man had another woman. And it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you, and you're going to realize you wasted your time. You could have been with another guy 20 years ago that loved you and actually appreciated you for who you are. You didn't want that. Instead, you wanted a fantasy that don't exist. And this is where a lot of women are. A lot of you brothers, you're trying to get with women. You're trying to teach them about polygyny. You're trying to make them understand. And it's like, they're like, I don't know. And, I'm not really into sharing. And these women are acting as if though they're not into sharing. But yet their body has been shared. They shared their body with other men. But the man that's with them is not complaining about that. The man that's trying to love you is not sitting there saying, I can't be with you because you were sexually intimate with 10 other guys. Or you were intimate with 20 men. I really can't deal with you. I'm sorry, sister. You shared your body with other men. I need a woman that never shared her body. Men don't do that. But for some reason, when it comes to polygyny, all of a sudden women act like because that woman is alive and you know that he's with her, it's sort of like a problem. But you forget that your body was shared with another man and another man was intimate with you and did all sorts of unspeakable sexual acts with you to your body. And yet when you get with a new man, you're acting as if though that life don't exist. You're acting as if though you didn't do all these different things with other men. See, the new man that you're with, he don't know about the ins and out of what you've been through and what you've done. We don't talk about that because as men, we accept women for who they are. And when we get with them, we don't talk about, well, I'm not sharing this and, you were intimate with that and what did those other men do to you? We don't ask those questions. We don't care. We're trying to get with you right now. But for some reason, we don't get that love. Instead, we get, well, you're with that woman, so I can't be with you. And this brother's trying to love you. This brother's trying to build with you. And you just can't see that. And to all you married sisters out there that are anti-polygyny, causing your man all sorts of problems, causing your man to be frustrated, causing your man to literally live in the darkness. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're contributing to. Think about what you are literally building. You are enabling him to go out there and do what he don't want to do because you don't want to hear the truth, because you don't want the reality. You don't want to accept the fact that he loves women. You want to be the only one. You are selfish because you don't want the will of God fulfilled for that man. And you don't really want to be happy. You want to live a fantasy. You want to live a dream, a lie. That man is not trying to live a lie. That man is trying to be honest, but you don't want him to be honest. You sisters tell men you want him to be honest. You want him to be upfront. You want him to keep it real with you. But the truth is you don't. This is why when I make my videos and I teach on polygyny and I say stuff like, well, as men, you need to go out there and just be what you want to be and do what you got to do. And sisters get mad at that. They think that I'm teaching men to be promiscuous and to lie. I'm not teaching men to lie, not at all. The truth of the matter is this, ladies. If your man desire another woman and you are anti-polygyny, what is he to do? Sit there and just sit and struggle and suffer and not be fulfilled as a man because you don't accept something? In the history of mankind, a man don't need a permission of a woman to be a man. And I think women have this thing mixed up. You feel that when you get with a man and it's a monogamous relationship, that somehow if he all of a sudden desire another woman, that he's wrong. He's not wrong. You're wrong. Because when you got into that relationship, you thought that because you got into that relationship that he took an oath of monogamy. No, he didn't. He took the vow of wanting to love you. You got the idea from the white man's system that somehow, some way, he's going to only be with you forever and ever. Amen. No, that's not the case. The reality is that he's a man and he's going to run into another woman in whom he may like and love. And you got to be willing to accept that. It's very important. It is Friday, 5:28 a.m. New York time. Right after this, I'm going to be getting ready to go to work. But I'm doing these videos and I'm literally up early because I had some rest. So I pretty much got up like around 3 a.m. or something like that. I decided to just stay up and put out some quality content. And I hope that this video here really edify the sisters to realize the reality of what's going on within this culture, because it's very, very important. I said it's very, very important because without this information, we're not going to win. Us brothers want to build with you sisters. There are a lot of black men that genuinely from the heart love you sisters, but we desire to have more than one wife. It's in our nature to build, to be committed, to tell the truth, to be honest. But if you don't want us to be honest, if you don't want to accept the reality that we're men, then you're going to be faced with the reality of dealing with those consequences. And if you don't want those consequences, my suggestion is that you just be single. Have no dealing with no man and just die alone. Because if you get with a black man, I am telling you, he is going to have another woman. Because men are in search of love. Men are in search of happiness. Men are in search of that fulfillment to build. And it's not just a sexual thing. A lot of you ladies, you got this thing all mixed up. You think it's all about sex with these men. They're just looking for a woman to have sex with. No, men want companionship. Men want to feel like men. Men want to feel like a king. Men want to feel strong of knowing he got wives, he got encouragement, he got women that really believe in him. Don't you know that when a man have that, he's able to rule and conquer the world? You sisters don't understand the reality of what's going on. And you know what's so funny? A brother had said something in a video. I want to see if I can find it to possibly throw it into this video to give it credit, because it needs to be said, man. A brother had said something. Let me see if I can find it. Hopefully I can. I don't know if I can find it that fast, but I'm going to try to look through my channel, because I remember I actually took a screenshot of it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Because again, I'm doing everything. I'm doing a live pre-recorded video. So everything is being done direct. I want to see if I actually have what this brother, let me just look for the video because I can't find it right now. I'm not sure what comment section it was in, but I think it was in my polygyny topic. Let me see if it's there. It was a comment that a brother made that was very, very powerful. And all right, I found it. I want to give this brother credit because this brother said something that was amazing. Very, very amazing. The brother name is Mixed Mexican Cody. I I want to give this brother credit for this amazing comment. I think it's one of the best comments I've read in 2021 that will absolutely help people to understand a lot. So let me put this into the video here. Hopefully you can see this. This is what the brother wrote on the screen. He said, "Women don't realize that polygyny for a man is what keeps him out of trouble. It keeps him from getting hurt or locked up or getting killed on these streets. Not practicing polygyny as a man is like not having the right friends in your corner to keep you out of hell." That is a beautiful comment. That is one of the most powerful comments I've heard and read in 2021. When you listen to what that brother said, ladies, when you understand how polygyny keeps men out of trouble, because when a man have that happiness and he have his wives and he's fulfilled and he feels like a king, that man is not going to be in the streets creeping. That man is not going to be in the clubs. That man is not going to be at the bars. That man is not going to be in no place that's going to cause him problems because he is with his family. He have his wives. He have his fulfillment at home. He can have bar night at home. He can literally be with his wives, having drinks, feeling good, watching a movie. He literally can enjoy himself. It keeps him out of trouble. It keeps him from getting hurt because he's not out there dealing with a bunch of thoughts. He's not out there dealing with women that don't understand what's going on. He is able to have the love he desires. He won't get locked up for messing around with some other man's wife. He won't end up getting killed in these streets because he's dealing with another man's woman, because that's happening in this culture. A lot of guys are messing around with women thinking that they're messing around with a single woman and it's another guy's woman. And then he end up getting into a fight and end up getting killed. You understand? Not practicing polygyny for a man is like not having the right friends in your corner to keep you out of hell. That is a fact, man. That's a deep, deep word, man. Powerful, powerful, powerful message from that brother right there. And it's my hope that the ladies out there will gain something from this show, that polygyny is the answer to all the problems we face. And if sisters don't get on board and understand the reality of what they're missing, you're just losing in life. You're trying to go out there and build something only to fail. Imagine that. You're going out there to build a reality for yourself, and then you want to meet a guy to bring him into your world only to fail. I don't think women realize the danger that they're in. It's my hope that somehow, some way, sisters will be edified and come to the understanding of polygyny and how it is needed within the Black community, especially amongst women that are single mothers, especially amongst women that are literally moving up in their age. You really have to understand this. And you know what's so sad? You know what's so sad about this? And I need to say this. I need to address this. Because what I find is that the majority of sisters that actually would be on board for polygyny a lot of times, in my experience, are women that most men may not even want to be with. And it's sad because it seems as if though the women that have the attractiveness and the beauty and the youthfulness, they seem to want to play and feel they have time to go out there and find this fantasy unicorn, only to realize that once they get older, they've wasted so many years dealing with multiple men, building up their body count. And by the time they hit 40, 45, 50, now all of a sudden, once the best years of their lives have been totally destroyed, their beauty is lost, they gain weight, they got a lot of bitterness, a lot of baggage, a lot of problems, children, all of these different things have mounted up. Now that they're at a point where their market value have plummeted and fell down, now they want to submit to polygyny. Now they want to be that woman that want to endorse polygyny. Now you see them on YouTube wearing dashikis and head wraps talking about they support polygyny. Now that they're old, when nobody wants them no more, when there's no more youthfulness to them. No, ladies, don't wait to let yourself go. Don't wait until you're old and now all of a sudden you realize you want polygyny now when nobody wants you. The time is now. The place is here for you to get on board and recognize that if a man is not practicing polygyny and you feel that that's something you want him to not practice polygyny because you just want him for you, it's never going to happen. Deal with the men that love you. Deal with that brother that want to build with you. All you sisters that are wives, that are married, and you're anti-polygyny, it is time for you to literally grow up and recognize the reality. Your insecurity and your fits, or your trying to withhold sexual relations, or just not being cooperative to your husband, that's not going to solve anything. It's going to make matters worse. Because the more you withhold from him, the more you defraud him. Speaking of defraud, I'm not sure if this is it. All right, here we go. I'm glad that came up. All praises to the Most High. According to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 5, it says, "Defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency." The majority of you sisters are guilty of breaking this very scripture right here, because you get to the point where you begin to defraud your man of sexual satisfaction, cooking for him, being a good wife, keeping the house clean, and so forth. You do this out of retaliation because he desires another woman. In the process of you doing this, notice what you're doing. You invited Satan in your house. The Bible clearly tells you, defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent. In other words, if you know you're going to be withholding sexual relations, if you know you're not going to be able to cook, if you know you're not going to be able to do certain things, you need to make that very clear so that the other person don't feel neglected. But what most women do is they neglect their man, just like Miss Shabazz said in the video. Remember the part where I rewinded and then she talked about how women they withhold sex as a weapon? This is what women do. So if you think that withholding sex from your man is going to somehow make things better, it's actually making things worse, because now he's going to resort to masturbation. Not only is he going to resort to masturbation, he's going to resort to watching porn. He's going to also resort to fooling around with women he have no business fooling around with. Because when a man get with a woman, he want to deal with a decent woman. But when you're withholding sex from a man and all he's desiring is sex, he really don't care where he gets the sex from. So he'll just get with any woman at this point just to get the fulfillment of sex. This is where it turns into whoredom. And it was your fault. Why? You defrauded him according to the Bible. You defrauded him. And because of this, Satan came in because of your inconsistency. Ladies, you have a lot to learn. You have a lot to learn. Now, men can defraud women, but it's very rare. Very, very rare. But women defraud men daily in relationships. They use sex as a weapon. They figure, well, I'm not gonna give him none because I'm mad. Okay, you don't give him none because you mad. He's gonna be at work getting head from some other woman. So while you thinking, oh, I'm getting over, I'm not giving him nothing, just gonna be mean and bitter, go ahead. Because by you doing that, you opening the door for the devil. So now your man, rather than him being righteous, rather than him being a good-hearted brother who want to be righteous, now he's like, you know what? I'm going to get with this sister right here because she want to give me some head. So I'm going to get some head from her. I'm not going to be committed. She's just going to be my side chick to just fool around with when my wife or my woman withholds sex from me. That's what you opened up. You opened that door. Because he could have been practicing polygyny and was righteous with it and honorable. But instead, you want to be the type of sister who is uncooperative and wicked. And you think that by withholding sex from a man that's actually a quality man, that somehow it's going to make things better. No, it just made matters worse. Not cooking for your man, not cleaning the house, just letting things go. Ladies, you have to stop this madness. This is one of the best videos on the topic, man. This video is just full of life and energy. I mean, there's so many people talking about polygamy. I'm talking about polygyny. Polygyny is the proper term, proper word to use. We're dealing with a man having more than one wife. Not polygamy with compromises of polyamory and all of this other stuff with a woman having more than one husband, which is totally off. Because a woman is not supposed to have the DNA of another man or multiple men in her body. That's off. You understand? Because of the soul ties and the destruction it causes. So with that said, I'm going to sign off. It's time for me to start getting ready for work. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody learned something from this. This is a powerful video. I'm glad I did this. I just said, let me get up, do what I got to do, put this video out there, and hopefully it'll feed the people and they'll be edified by it. But I got multiple videos on the topic of polygyny. Multiple videos. You know, like when I'm at work, I literally write down stuff. And, you know, I got stuff on the other side. Like I write down the topics that I'm going to talk on. And I got probably damn near 50 plus videos that I got to do on the subject of polygyny alone. And the goal is to prepare and edify and teach. And again, the methods in which I use when teaching, it is designed to ruffle the feathers, get under your skin, and hopefully build you up after I do all of my surgical performances on you to complete the surgery. Because our minds are messed up. We don't understand the reality of what's going on when it comes to polygyny and a man having more than one wife. It's a very serious topic. So to all the sisters out there, again, be open-minded, because these brothers out here want to build families. They want to build, they want to have happiness. They're tired. They don't want to be creeping. Ladies, I'm going to be honest. Brothers don't want to be creeping. Brothers don't want to be out there sneaking around with women. I mean, who does that? Brothers don't want to do that. Brothers want to be open and be men. And when you try to get in the way of preventing that, they're going to go resort to doing whatever they got to do. And that's just natural. So if you're not going to be on board with polygyny and be upfront and open and accepting of the reality of this man, that man is going to be on the low creeping with other women. And you could criticize him. You could say he's wrong. You could say he's lying. You could say he's not being honest. You could say all of that. You caused that because you don't want to accept that. You don't want to accept the reality that he loved women. You want to be this only woman that he desire. You are actually shortchanging yourself and making that man not like you. You are literally making him despise you because you are literally preventing him from being a successful man. Whereas if you are a woman that exhibited confidence, a woman that is not insecure, that man would appreciate you even more because he's like, wow, my woman is not insecure. My woman supports me. Not only that, if you're the type of sister who endorsed and supported polygyny, in most cases, your man or your husband would be like, lady, look, I'm not even going to go out there hunting for no other new wife. I'm going to let you do that. You go out there and look for a woman. You go out there and look for the potential. Because if you're the type of sister that is open to polygyny and the ball is in your court to literally find your man a decent quality woman who can be a wife, that would be better for you. Because now you have an input. But see, education is the key. And without that, our families are going to just continually be destroyed. So, hey, that's all I'm going to say. This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw, 100% raw and uncut, the way you need to hear it. I hope that everybody been blessed by this video. Again, this video is fair use, fair use, fair use. You know what I'm saying? So don't come to me, YouTube, talking about copyright. No. It's fair use. See the sign right there? Fair use. Right? So remember that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I'm going to sign out. I'm going to go get ready for work. Get on out of here. It's Friday. You know what I'm saying? So everybody have a blessed day. To all the sisters out there, much love. A lot of us black men that are quality men, we love our women. We want to do good. We want to be the type of men that are great leaders. We want to be kings. We want to feel like kings. We want to feel powerful. And a lot of times, you sisters, you don't understand what you're doing to contribute in the destruction of the black man. You don't realize the problems that you are literally causing. And it's very selfish of you to ignore the reality of what I'm sharing, to think about a fantasy that don't exist. No man will ever be monogamous to you, ever. You can wish, you can believe, well, there are men out there that just want one woman. No. You'll even have men that'll come in my comment section saying, All I want is one woman. I can't deal with two women. Shoot, I can't deal with two personalities. Those brothers are literally tickling your ears to get you in bed. And once you're in bed, they're on the job fooling around with other women. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't get played. Men are not monogamous, never been monogamous in the history of mankind. So, with that said, I'm going to sign out. All of you have a blessed day. This is Black Male Advice TV, and we are out. Peace, everybody.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Black Male Advice TV, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out.